question. What's going to happen if you are involved in a car accident while you are driving with an expired license? It's such a key question that we're asking here on the channel for you this morning. So let's find out then. The government's grace period for license renewals is drawing ever nearer. Lots of us, though, not going to meet the deadline. So let's find out what's going to happen. I'm joined by the short-term insurance ombudsman. It's Mr. Peter Nkhuna. Hello to you, Peter. Always a pleasure speaking to you. So how much trouble am I going to be in come next week if my license is expired? What's my insurance going to do to me?
Good morning, Gareth, and good morning to the viewers. I wouldn't want to say we have all the answers and that we know what's going to happen. I guess what I could do is just give a bit of perspective as to what should happen, because at least there we have a little bit of understanding and control. I know that the South African Insurance Association has issued a statement indicating that its members will not necessarily decline claims because one's license has expired and they have not had it renewed. And from our perspective, over the years, our attitude has always been that in order for the insurance company to succeed with a claim rejection due to an expired license, more than just the fact that it is an expired license would have to be relied upon by the insurance company. If, for example, there are other additional factors that were taken into account that could have impacted the risk or have resulted in the actual accident happening, which is very unlikely, then the insurance company should not be in a position to successfully decline a claim.
And so when we talk about certain situations and unusual situations, if somebody is in a car accident, I don't want to use the word car accident, let's say someone's bumped their car, they need to make an insurance claim after this deadline, Mr. Nkhuna, and they want to make a claim, how are you able to prove as a driver, as the insured person, that you've done everything you can to try and renew your license? What kind of proof do I need? Because many of us have tried to go online, renew our driver's licenses. We simply can't get a booking. The system crashes. We don't get an email or some kind of proof that the website hasn't been working for, say, 3 weeks. How do we prove that to an insurance company? Because I'm sure they're going to want proof, aren't they?
I'm not so sure that they would, because I think it's a well-known problem that we're experiencing. And I don't think, as I said, because one has necessarily got an expired card, that necessarily has any bearing on one's claim. Because ultimately, at least from our perspective in the Office of the Ombudsman, what we would look at is how material it is that the card had expired, and how we do that, we would look at whether the risk has been impacted in any way. In other words, if it means that because your license has expired, you present a higher risk than you would without an expired card license, which is, I think, something that would be very difficult for an insurance company to prove. Alternatively, it would have to prove that by virtue of you not having a card, or rather having an expired card license, you became less of a skilled driver or something of that sort, thereby contributing to the accident happening, which again is something to think not likely to happen, and therefore my very strong suspicion is that most of the time those claims will probably have to be settled in any event. There may be exceptional instances, and probably based on the peculiar policy wording of the insurance company and the consumer consent, where, for example, the policy may provide something along the lines of if you are driving illegally, and then driving without a valid license could then be understood to be driving illegally. Just using that as a simple example, maybe in that instance, the insurer might be able to succeed with declining a claim. But more often than not, I suspect it wouldn't be entitled to do so.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time in speaking to us. Mr. Peter Nkhuna from the Office of Short-Term Insurance Ombudsman joining us this morning. So it seems if you do have an expired license, it seems as though your insurance company probably will give you a bit of a leeway if your driving license has expired and you need to make a claim of some kind. But perhaps what I was picking up is just go back and read through your insurance policy. Perhaps get on the phone with them. Just check what you can do. Maybe just by alerting them that you don't have a valid driver's license, but you are trying to get it. It might save you a headache a little further down the road. No pun intended. Now, speaking